Kenji asks, can you explain your interest in Native Americans? My answer is yes, Kenji. I can explain my interest in Native Americans. Oh, you want me to explain it? Okay. Well, there are different reasons. I mean, it's not, not just one reason. There are, one aspect of what I like about them is they're very natural. They're just very in tune with nature, but also just, I don't know. I'm a very natural person. I'm kind of a back to nature person. I'm also very simple, and that I don't know. Like, obviously I love technology. I like being on a computer and everything, and all this advanced stuff. But at the same time, I like being like kind of in tune with the earth, just and like I don't know, kind of just being very, very simple, very I like taking natural herbs more than I do like something medicine made in a lab, or that's what I prefer. I will any day try to find some natural supplement rather than something been tampered with by man. I believe that's ultimately most of the time that's the way to go. Now, of course, we've made some advances and we've done some things that and that have brought really good results. But the simplest way, the most natural way for me is usually the way to go. So, whole Native American culture really just jives with me. They're often very wild. Not all of them. I mean, a lot of the tribes are different from each other, but they just, I don't know, seem very adventurous and exciting a lot of the time. At least more so than white culture, or even many other cultures, Asian cultures, But especially our culture, I mean, very different. We try to civilize them too much, and it's just a bummer for me. All these pictures, seeing them in suits and everything, it's just like, man, that's not you. I mean, if you like it, that's fine, but I mean, white people made them, trying to civilize them, and it's just, I hate that. I mean, yeah, there's an extreme, of what some people would call savagery, but I think that's a huge stereotype and misunderstanding that it's just a different culture. I mean, for the most part, yeah, there's always things to learn from other culture. Like, they could learn to be, some of them be a little more civilized, but also very expressive. They just had a unique way of expressing themselves, and not only in their dress, but even like their spirituality. That's the next point. I mean, they very, very creative people. They were very spiritual. I believe that a lot of them, I mean, yeah, I mean, sometimes they got in some bad stuff, but I think that a lot of them were really in tune with the Creator. That's kind of a big turn on. I don't know, and you gotta admit, some of the Native American honeys are fine. No, I'm just like, of course, when they get older, they kind of, I don't know. That could have been, the oppressed factor. I mean, they kind of were pushed onto reservations, and as they made passive and everything, and the more passive you get, the older that you get faster. And but anyway, another thing that caused me to be interested to be involved with them is the fact they were so oppressed, and they weren't done very well. If you read Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, it has a lot of research behind it. Government broke all kinds of promises to them. invaded their lands. You know, they didn't really hold this possession mentality, like, this is my land, this is not yours. They were willing to share their land, but I mean, of course it wasn't too plausible sometimes, but, you know, they could have had, you know, their land, and we had our own land for cities and housing and everything, but everyone was just afraid of them, like, creeping around every corner, you know, are they gonna come and, like, scalp us? But a lot of times they didn't even attack until they felt threatened. Like, it's just a mess. Yeah, I mean, no, all this divine right and everything. I mean, we have divine right. What was it? Manifest destiny. Stupid. Like, we have any right to it. I mean, they were here first. Yeah, I mean, we have, you know, every right to discover and everything, but as long as, you know, we respect the people who are already here, they just, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's basically, I see it as genocide, racism. That's all it was. I mean, and this whole thing, like, people who will go unnamed on the border, like, they should have just fought smarter. Yeah, while cannons are blasting their faces off, they should have just fought smarter. They're like, well, it should develop the technology. Oh my god. It's like, shut up. I mean, this is not fair. You know, it's not fair. And it wasn't God's judgment on them, like probably some early colonialist thought, the settlers. Oh, well, they're pagans, this is God's judgment, etc. They deserve it, and we're going to force them to go to our church, and etc., etc. Yeah, fuck you. Well, anyway, now it's part of my purpose, my calling to, you know, have restoration and healing. I mean, it's, you know, as someone descended from, well, I don't know if I'm descended from any settlers. Like, we do have a long history here, from my dad's side, but you know, I feel it's almost kind of my duty, you know, as someone who has an interest in them and everything, that kind of try to make up for all that and give them just like a different, you know, view of, because a lot of them just hate Christianity now. Just a different take on it, and help them realize that that was just a bunch of evil people doing evil things in the name of God. But I just really like Native Americans. They're really cool people. They're awesome. And every time I'm around someone who has like a good amount of Native American descent, I just feel so peaceful. Like, I feel at rest. Like, I can't even explain it. A lot of times I don't even realize until after I've been with them. Like, I had a friend, you know, named Crystal. I think Shane's mentioned her on the board. She has a lot of, I think it's Cherokee. Well, every time I was around her, I just felt so peaceful and at rest, and I was like, felt comforted. But I didn't realize till later she was a Native American descent, and another person at work, you know, felt the same exact way. I didn't realize till later, Native American descent. It's just amazing. Like, I could just be swallowed up in that peace. And anyway, yeah, that's my answer to the question. So, hope you like it.